I'm Robert Cavuto, and today on Sonic Perspectives, we are speaking with Vinny Appice of Last in Line to talk about the band's new album, Jericho, due out March 30th. Killer album. Congratulations.
Thank you. We finally we're getting close to the release date. Great.
Yeah, it's another
Really
feather in your
excited.
cap, another great album.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're excited about it. We thought it came out really good, and then it's a little bit of a step beyond uh, from the album before,
Right?
and we had a lot of fun making it. So
Yeah. And we're going
that
to talk
makes a
about
good
that.
album. Yeah.
So you said you did a little tease last year and you released the EP. It had 2 live tracks. It had one of the new songs off this new album, as well as a Beatles cover. So tell me about the importance of like keeping the audience excited and stimulated about this release.
Well, um, you know, we haven't. I mean, the last album came out in 2018,
Mhm.
something like that, or 19. So it's been a while. Excuse me. And we got a new record deal with earMUSIC in Germany, and it was like, okay, we haven't put something out. We haven't put anything out in a while, so why don't we do an EP? It was their idea to do an EP
Mhm.
and release it. So that's what we did, and we thought we'd include 2 live tracks from Europe that we did. I think one of them was a big festival somewhere. They might have both been festival kind of gigs. And then we did a cover of Day in the Life by the Beatles.
Yeah.
We're all Beatle fans, and we thought that would be a cool, challenging song to do. And why don't we try that? So that's what we did. And then we had another song called Hurricane Alla. That was pretty much finished and mixed from the new album. And
Mhm.
we thought we'd put that on it too. So there's 4 good tracks on it.
Yeah, it was a
And
great
that
team.
kept the momentum going, rather than what happened to these guys? Did they die?
No, I love it. I thought it was a great idea and it was a great strategy. Tell me, what's the
Thank you.
significance of the album title, Jericho, how it relates to the biblical story of the city being destroyed by a miracle?
You know what? We couldn't find a name for the album. It's not that deep. It's not in like, hey, let's get something that means this and blah blah
Yeah, yeah.
blah. Phil actually came up with the title, and we weren't that crazy about it in the beginning, and then the other titles were terrible also, like Last in Line 3.
Yeah.
Hello. So we thought, since it did mean uh, the city and it was destroyed, blah, 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 that might fit in pretty good with us. So we went with it.
It
Yeah.
works. It works. It works well. And the album cover works with it all together and it ties it together nicely.
Yeah. The album cover was done by Max, who did, he's a famous artist that did our uh, Day in the Life video.
Mhm.
And he designed it, and we got together and put some more things on it and embellished it a little bit more. So we're happy about the way it came out. So
Yeah, it's great. I enjoy it.
um,
I read
company
that
likes it too. Our record
this
company likes it too. So that's all
that's the
we're about.
most important thing, right?
Yeah.
The pandemic was raging while you guys were working on this album, whether it was the writing and the recording. What headspace was the band in during the
Good for that.
pandemic when you guys are trying to put this together and you're stopping, you're going, and all the uncertainty involved?
Well, the bulk of the pandemic, we didn't really do very much. It was more toward the end where we started getting together and writing. And we did it in Las Vegas because Andy and Phil live in Las Vegas.
Mhm.
So that's when we got together and started putting the songs together. We wrote everything together and in the room, jamming and playing, and so we had a couple of songs done. We had about 3 or 4 songs done, and then the EP idea came up, and so that was a no-brainer because we did. That's the only song we ever did over the internet. I
Mhm.
did the drums here in my studio. Phil did his bass. Andy did vocals. Viv did stuff at his place, and Phil mixed that one. So that was the only song we ever did like that. Usually we record with in the room. We're all playing together. No click. None of that stuff.
Mhm.
Old school
Yeah.
style. So that kept us busy toward the end of the pandemic. And then when things started to ease up last year, we started doing some live shows when we could.
Right.
And it's kind of back to normal now,
That's
So
true.
we're going to do a bunch of shows in April. We got
Great.
April coming up. And then Viv's got to go out with Def Leppard for a couple of months. And
Right.
then we get back together in September, October, do some shows.
You haven't released the dates in April yet, I don't think, right?
I think there's a couple up there, but we haven't released VIPs or any of that
All right.
yet. Just want to make sure everything's confirmed. And then the first date is like a record release party, and that's in Las Vegas at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's the first gig, and Eddie Trunk's going to be there, and the whole 9 yards there. That's going to be fun. So
Nice.
that's the big celebration. The album's coming out.
Yeah, I follow you on Twitter and Facebook, so I'll keep it up to date and come out and see you guys when you play my
Yeah,
area.
I'm on Facebook more than Twitter. I don't. It's like I barely have time to do what I'm doing now, and then it's like
I know.
Twitter. Okay, what do I do with Twitter?
Yeah,
So
people ask me, how come you're a photographer? How come you're not on Instagram? I was like, there's only so many addictions I could have. Facebook, Twitter, trying to do the interviews, trying to listen to
yeah,
music, and it's like I can't keep up with it. So yeah, I picked.
yeah.
I'm
I
kind of
mean, I
sticking with
do
it.
with this band. We work with this band. I arrange the tours and stuff, and the travel arrangements, and then I do a lot of sessions here. I'm doing events like coming up in April. There's an antique. Usually they're horror events,
Mhm.
like Horror Fest and
Right.
Terror Fest and you name it fest. So I do a lot of those. I do rock fantasy camps. There's one coming up next month with my brother and the guys from Stone Temple Pilots and Kim from Soundgarden.
Nice.
So I'm quite busy. So doing that is like another chore now.
Another job. Yeah, I get it. You know, with this
Yeah.
album, as well as all of the Last in Line album, it really solidifies Vivian's guitar playing and tone and your drumming that really were the originators to Dio's sound from the 80s.
Yeah.
Do you think this album still carries that sentiment you had back from the 80s?
I think, yeah, excuse me, because we did it in the same way that we wrote Holy Diver in those
Mhm.
albums. We went in a room and we just banged our heads together and came up with songs and riffs and jams. And we listened to, some of the stuff. We taped everything and started putting songs together. So it was created in the same way. And then Viv's got a sound,
He
you
does.
know, and I got a sound after all these years from playing so much that together we were like, half of the team, the original team. So it does have reminiscence of that 80s kind of feel.
Yeah.
And Viv, what's funny with Viv is he plugs directly into the amp. The only thing in line with his chord, and he plays with a chord, is is the wah wah pedal,
Really?
and he
That's
gets this
all.
big fat sound live, you know, and
Yeah.
that's the way we record too. He doesn't
And it's in
use the
his
wah
fingers
stuff.
too, right?
It's in his fingers, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Same
all.
thing like with drums. You get some other drummer on the drum set, it's going to sound different,
Yep.
And after a while, I think it does become inside of yourself, and you hop on a kit or you hop on a guitar or bass, and it
Mhm.
sounds like that person
Yeah.
that
Instantly
that you found.
recognizable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's in his fingers.
Yeah. Now, I know that, obviously Ronnie James Dio was one way of singing and writing, Andrew's another, and the rest of the band. Um, that mystical fantasy aspect of Dio's lyrics that were happening, was it a conscious decision to move away from that because Andrew maybe wasn't into that?
Yeah. Andy wasn't into the rainbows and the wizards and the dragons so
Yeah.
much, and Ronnie was obviously Ronnie
Right.
loved to write about that stuff, and Andy did what he did, what he felt, and I don't get into the lyric parts, believe it or not. I could, I couldn't tell you what any of the songs on Holy Diver mean. They go, well, what does it mean in Rainbow in the Dark? I said, I don't know. I don't hear lyrics for some reason. I hear melodies, I hear tones, I hear notes, chords, changes, rhythms, tempos. I hear everything else. But the lyrics, for some reason, I'm not tuned into lyrics that much.
Yeah.
Only lyrics I actually know are the Beatles, and who doesn't?
Right.
Yeah. But I'm the guy that works in the basement, like with everything else in the song. You know.
It's so funny because that album, Holy Diver, I know every word to that album, you know?
Dude,
And it's like you can't help but not know it. And I was in a
yeah.
band and we cut our teeth playing that, you know. We played Holy Diver, Rainbow in the Dark, Don't Talk to Strangers. You know, those
Oh
are the
yeah.
things that we played on guitar because we loved that album so much, you know.
Yeah. Now that album became when we were making it, we were just having a great time. We were having so much fun. We'd go to rehearsal at 7 o'clock and smoke a lot of pot,
Oh,
and
shit.
then and then uh, Viv didn't smoke, but he got a contact high.
Yeah,
But the
yeah, I
crew,
can imagine.
well, everybody else in the room was smoking, and then they did make their drinks and stuff. I didn't really drink. So we created that album, and it was just a lot of fun. We never thought it would become such a classic record, especially after Ronnie and I just did the Mob Rules with Sabbath,
That's right.
and that got really great reviews and became a pretty classic album.
True.
You know, we didn't sit there and go, let's make another classic album. We just did what came naturally
Yeah.
to us. And 40 years, it's 40 years this year.
Wow.
It's still going.
Yeah.
You know,
Jesus.
it was just in the movie Thor 4, the fourth movie.
Oh, really?
Rainbow in the Dark's at the end, the very end. I mean,
Okay.
they were
Was
going
that
to
the one
use it.
Love and Thunder or something? I haven't seen it.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they said, well, yeah, we're going to use it. So they bought the song. Okay. And then it was like, oh, well, we're not sure now. I go, oh, shit. So the next one was, okay, we're going to use it. It's going to run when the credits run. Okay, whatever. That's better than nothing.
Right. Right.
So we went to see it, my girlfriend and I, and was sitting there, and the credits start running down, you know, the big credits, and Guns N' Roses are playing. And I'm like, oh. I didn't think Guns N' Roses songs had too much to do with Thor as much as Ronnie's
Yes.
lyrics
Right.
and stuff. But I went, whatever, $1 million song. And then they finished the big credits, and then all the crew credits and the smaller ones, thousands of people on this, and then Rainbow in the Dark started. I said, boy, they waited to the end. But
Yeah,
you know what? There's a lot of people that stay to the end of the movies,
they do.
so they're going to hear that song. So they walk out of the theater going, man, I remember that song.
Yeah.
So that's
And
where
plus
they put it.
and you probably told all your friends, it's going to be in Thor. It's going to be in the movie Thor. Where? Watch
Where
the
is it?
movie.
It's at the end. I left at the end. I never stay for the credits.
I never do either.
But you know, a lot of these movies now, the movie ends and the credits go, and then all of a sudden they come back on the screen. There's another
Yes.
little acting bit going on.
Right.
So that's why that's become kind of a thing. People tend to stay more, see if anything's going to happen.
True.
So
True. You mentioned you don't really get involved in the aspects of the lyrics, but tell me a bit about what you each bring out in each other from a creative standpoint when you're coming up with these songs. Are you the one that comes up with a beat and then Vivian jumps in with the guitar riff? How does it all flow?
yeah, sometimes it's that. Like Rainbow in the Dark, I'm going back to that album, was a beat,
Yeah.
a groove. You know, I started playing this groove, and then they Jimmy and Viv came up, da, 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 you know, the chords. Even the beginning, that chord we hit, I think that was a mistake. We went, because it changes key there or
Yeah.
something. And so that works that way. And a lot of times Viv will be playing something. You walk in the room and go, what's that? He goes, I don't know. Shit, let's record it. We record it with the phone. It's in the dressing room. He'll be doing that. We'll record it. And then a couple of the riffs came from sound checks from the last bunch of gigs we did.
Mm-hmm.
We just start jamming away and let's record it. And then Andy has a lot of ideas musically as well as vocally. And usually we don't hear the full vocal until the song's pretty much together. And then
Right.
he'll lay vocals temporary vocals, scratch vocals, and we'll hear it. Go, wow, that's great. And then if there's any comments, so we all listen to each other, and it's great. A very creative process, you know.
Was there any song that you started off on drums that Vivian picked up on for this new album?
Gee, probably. I don't know which ones.
Yeah, it all just happens, right?
But we did 3 songs in Vegas, and we recorded them on a little recorder.
Yeah.
But we wrote the songs. Then we went back a month later and did more songs, three or four songs. So we went like 3 or 4 times. So there's a lot of time in between. So I don't remember what the hell happened.
I have a lot of favorites on this album. My favorite, I think, right now that I've been listening to is "Do the Work."
Yeah, "Do the Work" is killer.
Yeah, got a great riff and Vivian's classic solo. You could have taken that right off of that album and put it in there.
Yeah.
That sound and that feel. Do you remember anything about the creation of that? Putting that
Well,
one
I know
together?
Viv had that riff. I love that kind of feel riff. So it was easy just to lay down a groove to that, and then Phil laid it down. And Phil likes to not play exactly what the guitar is playing a lot of times, like especially a riff like that. So Phil will change a note here and there and experiment until he gets something interesting. So that song came pretty easy. You know, we didn't know what the lyrics were going to sound like at all.
Mhm.
We had the intro, and then we slammed into this groove, which was cool. And later on, Andy laid down some vocals and went, "Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
An amazing job, and the vocals are really strong." And then we did a video with that. It just came out last week, last Friday. It's on YouTube.
Yep.
And that video we did, I did it here, and we did it and sent it via the internet. We weren't in the same room because we all live in different places.
Mhm.
So, but Andy edited it and produced it, and it came out fantastic.
Yeah, and I'll put it with this article, with this review and the
And
article.
that's going to be the single because the earMUSIC, that's our German label, they want to have the version under 4 minutes, you know, hopefully 3.5 minutes, where we could they want to hit radio with it somehow.
They still worry about that, huh? The 3.5 minute thing?
Yeah, I'm like, what radio? Where? You know? But God bless them, man. You know, I did an interview with KLOS out here, which is I'm in LA, the big station, you know, with Full Metal Jackie.
Right.
And so maybe they'll probably play it at night, you know.
Yeah. We have a couple of radio stations around here that would play it too, so I'm sure we'll hear it soon enough.
Yeah.
10 years, 3 albums. You think it would did you ever think it was going to last this long?
No, actually, it's not really 10 years because we started, it's about 8 years.
8 years? Okay.
Yeah. Because we got together in 2015.
All right.
So it's about 8 years, you know. And we just did it as fun. You know, we started a jam. Viv called up and said, "Hey, you want to jam? I'm in town." I spoke to Jimmy, and we can have a play. I said, "Okay." So we did that, and then we had a lot of fun seeing each other and hanging out, and trying to remember the songs, especially from Holy Diver. And Viv's trying to remember the solos, you know, all that stuff. And it was so much fun. Let's do it again next week. You know, everybody was available. And I called Andy, because I played with Andy a while ago with George Lynch. We did a mini tour with George. And he came down and sang the Dio songs and blew everybody away. So we decided, hey, why don't we do some gigs, you know? So the first couple of gigs were all Dio songs.
Yeah.
It's like listening to Holy Diver and Last in Line. And then we got a deal, our old manager, Steve Strange, got us a deal on Frontier Records. And we did 2 records. Then we started becoming more of an original band.
Right.
Which was what we wanted. We didn't want to spend 8 years playing all this Dio stuff, you know.
Right.
So
you could drop the moniker supergroup, right? Because you're a real original band, you know.
Yeah, and with Jimmy, we were the band, you know. They still called it, oh, it's a tribute band. How's it a tribute band? We wrote this stuff. We're Ronnie, you know. We're the band.
We're the band.
It's like Van Halen, they got Sammy Hagar in. Now they're a tribute to Van Halen. You know,
Right, right.
it doesn't work like that. So
No, no. You talked a little bit about the tour plans. Is there any songs off this new album that you're looking forward to playing live?
do the work. Uh, what's the other? Ghost Town, and I think Hurricane Allah.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? The one that has party in the
Yeah,
title.
the end song, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we got 4 songs. We're gonna try to we're gonna rehearse a couple days before the Vegas gig and see how they go, see how they
Yeah.
sound, and put those in too.
Walls of Jericho, great song too.
Yeah, that's a great song too.
That's a
I
catchy
like to
one.
do the whole thing, but you got to stay with some of the old stuff, and you got to stay with some of the classic Dio
Right.
stuff.
And now you're running into the problem where you got 3 albums you got to pick from. You got to still do Dio, and you have to pull together some
Yeah.
great stuff off the old albums.
That's right. When we started Dio back in 82, 83, when the started playing live, it was like we did a lot of the Holy Diver songs, but then
Right.
that wasn't enough. So we had to do stuff from Sabbath, from Heaven and Hell.
Yep.
The stuff Ronnie did on the Heaven and Hell album, we did a little bit of Mob Rules
Mhm.
to fill up, and Rainbow.
Right.
So we had a lot to draw from, but that's what happens. You keep putting the sets list together, it gets complicated.
And I think people want to hear it. People love it. They love that.
Oh yeah,
It's where else are you going to hear the real band doing it?
right.
It's not happening.
I don't think people today they want to hear what they know. They want to sing. They want to know what the song's doing, and they've heard it before, and it's familiar. It's hard to push new material on audiences
Mhm.
unless the album comes out and it's huge,
Right,
and
right.
everybody knows it. So usually our fans they're really, really great fans. When the album comes out, they buy it, they listen to it, and then we go play, and you could see them mouthing the lyrics and getting into it and stuff. So
Yeah. I got to
we'll see
believe
what
you got a
happens.
lot of fans who are drummers watching your technique as well as Vivian watching everything he's doing. How did he get that sound? So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Viv, everybody's like shocked the way he plays in this band because it's a different kind of band.
yes.
Def Leppard's a different band, and it's 2 guitars. So this band, he's the guy doing all the heavy lifting, and he's got to play the solos. He's got to play the song and just keep it going. So he's got his hands full. But the people are like, "Wow, man, he's ripping!"
Yep. Great stuff.
Shredding. It's a great guitar player.
It's true. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much. I want to be respectful to your time, and thank you so much for talking with me again. I always enjoy speaking with you.
Thank you. And also, I mean, we got a couple minutes, but
Yeah, okay.
every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time on Facebook, Vinny Appice Official, I do a live drum stream. And
Yep.
it's a lot of fun. I do it here, and I play the music. Unfortunately, I can't play the Dio Sabbath stuff because it's copyright bullshit,
Yeah, yeah.
But I do it as like 110 shows coming up. And but if anybody out there hears this, they want to check out some drumming. I play some music, and then I teach a little bit, and then I tell stories. We do questions and answers, and it's a really cool show. So
Yeah, I'm going to
Tuesday,
definitely check it
4
out.
Pacific time. Yeah, Facebook.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much.
Plug.
Well, thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to always speak with you. Thank you. Very insightful.
Thank you,
interview.
Robert. Yeah, good to see you again. All right, take
And I
care
will,
of yourself.
yes, and I will see you when you come to New Jersey, New York with Last in Line. All right, I'll be there.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks,
Thank
Robert.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.